Hey everybody, it's Tanya with ScrappyChicks.com and your creative partner with Kiwi Lane. And today I am bringing you a Halloween layout share. So today we're going to start with a double page layout, and I'll try and hold each one of these up so you can see some of the details. So this is a 2-page layout that I created, and it does hold 4 photos. You can add more photos if you don't want to do the sentiment cutaways that I did out of the paper pack that I used. I want to say this is a hodgepodge of paper, so some of it may be Echo Park. Some of it may be Simple Stories. So it's just a combination that I was using. So some of the templates that I used was the Funky Frills 2A and 2B, which is this here that looks like this. This is the Funky Frills template. But then behind that, I used the Paisley Place 1A and 1B because they coordinate together. So you can't really see it back here, but it is. It's covered up with photos. So I did those as far as the borders go because they coordinate together. And I'm going to leave all the templates in the description below. And then I used Haunted 4, 5, and 6. And I used Holiday 5-2, which is the ghost. And then I used Rings 2, which I made the circle to go behind the jack-o'-lantern and the ghost here. So, and to give this some added sparkle, which I love, I used stickles to do swirls. And then I did glossy accents on the mouth and the nose and the eyes. And then I hot glued a button from my stash onto the ghost to give the ghost a hat, a witch's hat. So instead of doing a face, I did stickle swirls on there because I wanted to add some shimmer to this layout. And then for the moon and the house, I did stickle dots. And then for the house, I did glossy accents on the windows and the doors on the haunted house. So this is just an easy, simple layout using my paper stash. And again, you can add additional pictures if you don't want to have the sentiment cards, which I cut out away from the paper pack. If you don't want to use those, you can either do a journal card or a title card for one and add another photo in. So it's completely up to you. So this is one layout. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side and get the next one. This layout is a single page layout, and it is a little busy in camera frame. It does look better in person than it does on camera because the features on the camera I can see are kind of getting a little lost, but in person it doesn't lose the features as much. So on this one I used the a la carte bat, and I just put sticker eyes on him. And then the template, the Cauldron, which is the a la carte template I used, and then I used Haunted 1, 3, and 4, which is the candy, the moon, and the cat. And I accessorized these templates with, again, stickers from my stash. I also used the photo mats and the photo templates to make sure my photos were even. And so I just did some circles, and I added stickles for the bubbles coming out of the cauldron. And then I added a hat that I had in my stash onto the cat. And I added these fun eyes to this bat. And then on the piece of candy, I also added stickles as well to give it some shine and some shimmer. And this was just a single 1-page layout. Okay, the next layout is also a single page layout that I did. And again, I used the a la carte vintage is this big piece back here. So I used that, and then I used the bat again. I used Haunted 4 and 6 template. I used the photo and photo mat template. I also used tags 1T, and then I just cut it down. So that's tucked in behind here. I used Quirky 2 for the little banner that the ghost is holding. That is on the Quirky 2 template set. And that's a really fun set to use. I really enjoyed using that. That was the first time I used Quirky. So there's 2 templates that come in that set, and so I used the banner for the ghost. The ghost is Holiday 5T, and I just drew his face on. And then for this piece back here, this was bracket 1T, and then of course Haunted 4 and 6. So again, I'll hold this up. I use stickles, swirls, and I also put stickles around these other elements here. And then the house, I did the glossy accents on the windows, and then I drew in window panes. So I drew in the window panes first, and then a glossy accent over the top of my ink. And then I just added an embellishment on there of a tombstone. So this is a really simple layout again. It's not as busy as the other, but if you have one photo that you really would like to showcase like I did, doing a one-page layout is a great way to showcase that as well. And then I have one more layout share. No, actually I have 2, I'm sorry. This layout was a lot of fun for me to do. So I did a very girly layout on this one. So for the borders, I did funky frills, and I also did Abbey Road for the borders. So the scallop is the funky frills, and then I did Abbey Road, which coordinates together. I also did, to build the flowers, I did Springtime 6, Floral 1T, and I also did the a la carte flower down here is a la carte Forget Me Not is what this is called. I also used the a la carte Cauldron, and I did the cat from the Haunted, which I think is Haunted 3. I did tag 6T. So this was a cut apart, and I just put the tag template over it and cut it out in that shape. I think I've listed everything. So, oh, and Lacey Trims. This is from the Lacey Trims template. So these here are Lacey Trims. And then I did do these little edges, and I will have to find which template that came from. So that is another template that I used to get those edges there. I just failed to list it on my list here. So a fun element that I did was I got the Tulle from the Dollar Tree. And so what I did was I just hot glued it behind, but each of these accents is on foam squares. So it does make it a little bit chunky, but it's not too chunky. It will fit in a scrapbook because I wanted to make sure it would fit in an album. So when you're making these, if you make these, you can't go all out chunky like I did in some of my tutorials and use those in a scrapbook where you build it up with a piece of scrap paper, because it won't shut flat and it will end up warping the page. So, but doing just a little bit of foam squares behind it is okay. It'll still fit flat. So just keep that in mind if you want to add dimension to your pages. Just make sure you're not getting them too chunky per se. So I did a lot of inking on this page, but I really loved how it turned out. I love that. I love the 3 colors scheme that I stayed with. The purple, the black, the white, a little bit of gray, I guess, is added in. So, and I just inked the edges of all the pieces to try and coordinate and give it that little spooky feel, but not too spooky. So I had a lot of fun with this layout. I really enjoyed this one. So I have one more layout share. This is a single page layout again. I stayed with the same color tones, black, white, and orange. This is a very traditional colored layout. And so this one, I used, let's see if I've got my paper on the back. Yeah, I got my cheat sheet here because I have to write down which templates I used. So on this one, I used the Holiday 5T, which is the ghost, the Haunted 5, which is the pumpkin, So the Haunted 5 is actually a jack-o'-lantern. You just don't cut the face out. So you just trace it and leave it as a pumpkin. Floral 1T, and then, which is this flower, and then I top that with Explore 6T flower. And then I use tags 1T to make my little tails for my flower. And then I hand cut the leaves, but there is a leaves template you can use. I just couldn't find it when I was doing this layout, so I just drew it and hand cut it out. And again, I used, it looks like I used Abbie Road and Funky Frills on this one as well. So this is a very simple layout. It does have a lot of templates, but it can only hold 2 pictures, or if you don't want to have a title sentiment, you can add a 3rd picture on this one. So it's really up to you. If you want to recreate this layout, you can change it around to better fit your photo needs. So thank you again for watching. Thank you for supporting me, and I appreciate the comments and the likes and the shares. Check out my scrappychicks.com coordinating blog post, and I will also have all the templates listed and the supplies used. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you again, and have a great day. Bye-bye.